All right, we're gonna start up here. This is the hitch of your unit. So off to the side, you've got your emergency breakaway cable. This is gonna connect securely to the inside of the bed of your truck somewhere. And if for whatever reason this comes unhooked from your truck, this is gonna pull the brakes. It's gonna lock them up so it doesn't go rolling down the highway. Behind here, you do have your 7-way cord. This is gonna plug into the 7-way connector on your vehicle, and that's gonna provide you with your running lights, your turn signals, your emergency flashers, and it's also gonna charge the battery for you, okay? Speaking of that, we're gonna come up underneath here. This is your front storage compartment. If we open this up, ooh, my fingers will work. If we open this up, we'll lift it up. It does have a locking latch up here, so you pull this back, sit your door all the way in it, and your door will stay open. So you have your 2 battery boxes there for both of your batteries. You have a storage tow hook up there for your power cord. And this also gives you access to the 2 front landing jacks in case the motor doesn't want to work, so you can get to them manually with a silicone stopper up here at the top. We're gonna lower this door back down. On the side of the door there, you can notice that you've got a light switch. That is for your docking lights. There is a small light right above the center of the hitch. If we flip that on, that'll actually turn that docking light on for you. So then that way you can see when you're backing up, you can exactly see where the middle of your hitch is at, okay? This is gonna line up right with the puck so that way you can get it into your receiver better. Off to the side here, you do have a docking light, so if you need to see what's going on down here while you're hooking up or disconnecting in the dark, you do have a light to do so there as well. On either side of your unit, there's a door on this side, and there's a mirrored door on the door side. If we open this up, these are gonna open you up into your 2 30-pound propane cylinders that are full other than what we used to PDI the unit, so test the furnace, the water heater, and stuff like that. And then up here at the top, you'll notice that it has a little regulator up there. That is an even flow regulator. That's gonna let you know that it is G and green for gas is good, and then it's gonna go to red and an R for empty, okay? So when this one empties, it'll flip to red R, you'll flip the lever over, you'll open the other tank, and then you'll be able to draw propane from the other tank. And then if this one's empty, you can go ahead and flip this one over, and it'll feed through that way. You do have 2 stickers here that are very important. They're kind of faded, so you should be able to see them with the naked eye. This is your manufacturing sticker. Your tire unloading information is right here, as well as the PSI is also on the side of the tires as well. If we open up your side compartment behind all of that, it does have a latch here that's going to fit in that T-bone connector. Open your door up. You do have a large pass-through that has a door on the opposite side to get to the same compartment on the door side of the unit. Up here on the left wall, you do have your LCI electronic auto leveling system. The instruction panel is right here on a sticker, so you'll always know how to use it. Your storage compartment here opens up. Not only is it storage, but it also gives you access to your gray tank valve and your black tank valve. Now, you're going to pull this one first. That's going to open your black tank. Then you're going to pull this one. This one's going to be your bathroom sink and your bathroom shower. This water is going to help kind of clean out your sewer hose from when you open up your black tank. So it's going to go black first, gray second, and then your galley tank. Over here on the side, you have your convenience center. So you do have a light up here, so you can see what you're doing in the dark. Below that is your outside shower. So to undo your shower hose, you're going to push in, release the... Can't do it without seeing it. All right, so this hose here is permanently attached to the inside of the sprayer, so you'll always want to leave that connected. The other end is threaded, so you can put a sprayer nozzle on the other end. You've got hot here on the left and cold on the right. Down here below that is your black tank flush. So whenever your black tank valve is open and the black tank is empty, you can hook a hose and regulator up to this. We always recommend a regulator because it keeps the water pressure in between 50 and 60 PSI. But what this does is it spins a little aerator powered by water pressure alone to kind of clean off the sides and the bottom of your black tank. Down below that is your City Water Connect. This is where you're going to hook that same hose and regulator up to, and you'll never have to turn your water pump on or use the water in your fresh tank whenever you're using your City Water Connect, okay? To the right of that is your battery disconnect. Right now it is in the on position, which means that the power cord is also charging the battery. When the battery disconnect is off, that is cutting the juice from the battery to the unit. So that way if you're going to store this thing for the winter, you flip that to off and it conserves the charges that are left in your battery. Over here on the right side of the wall, you've got your satellite prep. So if the Parker campground that you're staying at is providing you with cable or satellite, you can hook to the top one for cable and the bottom one for satellite, and you'll be able to get those TV services on the inside of your unit, okay? Behind us here, this is your furnace. You can undo these 6 screws here and then you'll get to the back side of your furnace, but This metal vent pipe here does get hot enough to curl the hair on your arms and to burn your skin, so I always recommend that you stay away from that. And another good investment is a mud dauber screen. It's a little domed vent that sits over that vent to keep the mud daubers from going in there and building nests and inviting their friends. And mud daubers will go and they will collect and they will make nests anywhere where they can smell propane exiting out of the unit, okay? So it's a really good investment to have that vent. Your sewer drain pipe is right there, so you're going to take that cap off. You're going to hook your sewer hose to that. You're going to run the other end of the proper dump station. You're going to go to those two handles in the storage compartment for both the black tank, which is your toilet, and the gray tank, which is your shower and your sink. And then there's actually a T-handle up underneath here as well, where my hand is at right there. That is for your galley tank. That's what you're going to dump your kitchen sink out of, okay? That's going to be your gray tank too. So we're going to come back here, the two vents here on your slide. That's how you're going to get to the back side of your refrigerator. This is going to get you to the bottom side. That's going to get you to the top side. Your tires down here, the lugs have been torqued to 100 foot-pounds as per the sticker on the side of your unit, as well as the PSI, I said almost PDI. The PSI in them is supposed to be at 110, which means that you can go as low as 105. I don't ever recommend going anything lower than 5 under or 5 over, but you really don't want to go over, but under is okay. The PSI has been checked. They're sitting at about 108, all 4 tires, and the spare on the back is sitting at about 110 exactly, okay? Up here at the top, this is your stove vent. So this is what's going to filter out the air that's coming out of your range vent above your stove. It's got 2 little plastic tabs up here that need to be slided down, and then that'll open up, and when you've got your fan on, that'll open and close and let the air in and out of your stove, okay? We're going to come back here to the back side of your unit. On the rear corner, we open up this little panel here. This is going to open up with the 751 key on your key ring. This is your fresh tank. It's a gravity-fed fresh tank, so you're going to put your hose and regulator in there. You're going to turn the water on, and that's going to fill your fresh tank, okay? Like I said, that does close with a 751 key. You do have a rear-mounted ladder to give you roof access. Now, the roof is the life expectancy of your unit. You do want to make sure that you get up there and you check that about every 90 days. It may not need to be resealed every 90 days, but you do want to get up there and check for air bubbles, cracks in the lap sealer, holes punctured in the membrane, stuff like that. The longer and better the roof that you take care of your roof, the longer your camper will last you, okay? Down here underneath your ladder, you do have your 50 amp short cord power outlet. Now to plug it in, you're going to line up, there's a little bead on the plug and there's a little divot in the outlet. You're going to line those up, you're going to push the power cord in, you're going to rotate it about a quarter of a turn clockwise, and you're going to tighten down this plastic ring clockwise as well. To unplug it, you're going to take that black plastic ring, go counterclockwise, rotate the plug itself counterclockwise about a quarter of a turn, pull out and remove. When you do not have the power cord plugged in, you do want to make sure that this cap is down over that, and that's going to provide you that same seal, okay? Your spare tire back here, the 2 lugs holding it onto the farrier do not have to be torqued down to the 110 foot-pounds, but they do need to be wrench tight, and the PSI, like I said, in this has been checked and it's sitting at about 110. You do have a license plate bracket underneath the right turn signal there. We're going to come over here. The 2 tires on this side of the unit, they have also been checked. The lugs have been torqued to 100 foot-pounds as per the sticker on the side of the unit. And the PSI has been checked to be sitting at about 110, okay? 108 to 110 is what they're sitting at currently. We've got our secondary propane cylinder over on this side, like I showed you. This one does not have the regulator on top. That regulator on the off-door side does control both the flow from this tank and the other tank with a dial on the top, like I showed you. We're going to open up this side compartment here. This is the mirrored side to your front storage. So if we open this up, you can see all the way to the other side. This one also has a little storage cubby underneath, but no valves, so you can store things in that. Over there on the wall, you do have a GFCI protected 110 outlet over on the inside of the wall here, as well as a coaxial outlet so you can watch TV on the outside of your unit. The previous owners also installed a paper towel holder there, and you also have a light here that has 2 modes, off and on. There's a little slider switch in there. I'm going to go ahead and close that down. Speaking of 110 outlets, you do have a outside GFCI protected 110 outlet, so you can plug your television or any sort of outside entertainment inside or outside of the storage compartment. Your water heater compartment is right here. We're going to open that up. Remove that. It stays on with just 2 holes at the bottom of the door and 2 pegs right here. Up underneath here, you've got a 1 1/16 anode rod. Not only is it an anode rod that's going to eat up all the impurities in the water before they do damage to your water heater tank, that's also going to be where you drain your water heater. So when you're ready to store this thing for the winter and you're winterizing it, you're going to release pressure off the pressure valve here, let that open up, let water flow out of that, and then you can remove this safely without this shooting out and hurting it, doing any damage to you, it, or the water heater itself. You do have an electric element right here, so if you have to change that, you're going to remove these 2 bolts. Pop this off, the element will then unscrew from a bolt, and then you'll be able to pull that out and replace it. And up here at the top is, if for whatever reason it doesn't want to light on gas, after a few attempts of failing, you can come in here and you can press that and we'll reset the breaker for it, okay? So we're going to go ahead and reinstall that. Now, one thing about your water heater that I do want to go over is that it's very important that you make sure that there is water in it before you light it on either gas or electric, okay? You do want to make sure that there is water, and that pressure release valve is a very good way to do that. Once you feel like the pump has stopped, if you're using the water pump, go ahead and give that a tug. You'll hear pressure release off of it with a hiss, and then eventually water will come out of that. That is when you can light your water heater. So your door has a handle in front of it, and this is what your stairs and front door and handle should look like when you are ready for travel, okay? So your stairs need to be all the way folded up to where they're flush with the inside of the unit. Your handle needs to be in front of the door. We always say in front of the door because then that also keeps the door from flying open if it was to not be locked properly. But to get into your unit, you're going to flip the handle out. You're going to pull the bottom step out, which is going to rotate them all, and then you're going to flip the bottom one down again. Now we can go inside. We're going to open the door all the way up. We can go inside the unit. So once we step foot in the unit, the first thing I always point out is that you do have a fire extinguisher down there in the corner of the door threshold. That is for emergencies inside and outside of the unit. So we're going to start over here at the kitchen table, and we're going to work our way around until we get to the master bedroom. So over here at the kitchen and the kitchen slide, you do have a manual light that is above the table, so you can turn that on and off. Your table does have 4 wooden chairs and a wooden tabletop, and it also has well, I think they call that a leaf or an extension, but it does need to be down in travel, so in order to raise and lower it, there is a little metal slider here. So to lower the leaf, you're going to push that slider in, which is going to let that table hang down. They've also included a safety strap that has a snap up here on the inside frame. So once you have that down, if you do not want that flapping around, you reach up, you button that nice up, and then once you're in travel, that's not going to go anywhere. Okay? Over here, you do have 2 armchairs that are attached in the middle. You have plenty of storage above head. Your owner's bag is going to be up here as well. That's going to have all your user information, such as the manuals for all the appliances, any sort of hardware, remotes, stuff like that for your television. Stuff like that is going to be in that owner's bag. And don't forget, it is up here above the 2 armchairs, okay? The 2 side doors also open. This is one large compartment with 4 individual doors. You have 2 light sconces underneath that, which are manual push button. The window behind the armchairs is a secondary emergency escape window. So in order to get to that, you notice you'll see this little red handle you'll lift up. This handle will then slide out. You'll push the whole window out, and then to get out, you'll grab this little red triangle here. Give that a tug, the screen will come out, and you can go out preferably feet first. The windows in front of the kitchen table, these open, and they are privacy windows. So if you'll notice, you've got a little handle down here. These do not open up all the way. They just open up at a slight angle. That's about as far as they open up. So if you do need to vacate the unit and you can't make it out the front door, the door behind the 2 armchairs is the one that you're going to use. Behind, at the very tail end, you've got your couch. It also has the same 2 large privacy windows behind it. The 2 side windows do not open up. You've got 2 sliding LED lights above the couch itself. 3 individual doors with 1 large storage compartment up above. Each side of the couch does have a 110 outlet on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. The previous owners also included some nice couch covers, so the upholstery underneath is actually pretty decent still. You've got a sliding light above the television and entertainment slide. So you can do 1 light, both lights, or 1 light or both light. You've got 1 large storage compartment with 3 individual doors there. Your television is a Legend brand television. The outlet and the coaxial are right behind it. So in order to get to those, you're going to pull the television out on the handle. And if you notice back there, I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty dark back there. Let me turn the light on. You can see back there you do have a coaxial and a 110 that powers your television, okay? Down below that, you do have 2 single storage drawers. They have double tier shelving, a rather large in-house stereo system that not only has a speaker speaker A, a speaker B, and a speaker C. Speaker A is inside, speaker B is going to be further up in the unit, and speaker C is your outside ones, okay? So you also have your memory buttons over here as well as your memory buttons here. You've got your speaker zone buttons here, your pause, play, seek, and find buttons, your function buttons, which are auxiliary, AM, FM, USB, or CD, or Bluetooth, okay? So this also functions as a Bluetooth stereo. Below that is your Greystone fireplace. The remote for the fireplace is in that same owner's bag. To turn it on, you've got buttons. You've got 4 buttons here, so this one's going to turn it on. The next to the right is going to be your Fahrenheit button, or your temperature button. It's going to let you adjust the brightness of the flames. It's not your temperature button, I apologize, that's this one. So you've got auto, and then you've got manual controls. And this next one here is a timer button. So in increments of 30 minutes up to an hour, you can turn this thing on. So it'll go off every 30 minutes, come on every 30 minutes, so forth and so on, all the way up to 9 hours in increments of hours. Between the kitchen and the entertainment slide, you have 2 storage compartments there. Over here in the kitchen, you have a Greystone spin-top glass microwave, just like the one at home. 2 cabinets above the stove. That bungee cord is to also help prevent your refrigerator from opening, so you'll use that as a safety strap to keep your refrigerator or freezer door closed when you're traveling. Your stove vent has a light here and a fan. Like I said, when you have the fan on, you do need to make sure that the flap outside is able to be open and closed. That's going to allow that air to circulate a little bit better, okay? Got some storage down here. Larger appliances or dishes. Your stovetop. Your stovetop does light with a striker here, so turn them to light, flip it on, hold it there for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then you can let go and you can adjust the temperature. Same goes for the middle. We'll turn those off. Now, this striker here does not operate your oven, so you will need to buy a kitchen lighter for that, one of the long stick kitchen lighters. To light your stove, you're going to open the door all the way up. You're going to take this knob here, you're going to push in, you're going to rotate to pilot. It says push and hold, so you're going to have to push and hold this. You're going to take that stick lighter and you're going to go all the way back there to that white ceramic ring. That's going to be your pilot light. So you're going to light that while this is being pushed and held in. I'm not going to hold that in because that's going to let gas out, and I'm not going to light it right now. So, but you're going to push and hold this in while you're attempting to light that pilot, and it's not going to whoosh out or anything like that. It's just a small purple flame, and then once you have it lit, you're going to still hold in for about 10 to 15 seconds, and you can rotate to the appropriate temperature, okay? You have 4 pull-out drawers over here for utensils and other silverware. Down here underneath the stove is your carbon monoxide and LP detector. That is one of the 3 most important safety features in your unit. We already went over 1, which is the fire extinguisher. This one is number 2, and the 3rd one is the smoke detector, which is above the stairs that goes into the bathroom and the master bedroom. I always recommend testing this and the smoke detector every time you're going to use your unit, okay? I know they say do it every 90 days as well. Do it every time. When you're stocking your groceries up for the weekend to take this thing out, go ahead, hit that test and mute button. It'll run its cycle, let it beep. You've got a solid green light here. That means you're good, okay? So over here on the island, you've got 3 drawers here. 1, 2, 3. You've got under sink storage. Again, another paper towel holder there. A lot of people like to put their trash can underneath here, but don't try to stuff too much stuff in here because the hose that lets this thing kind of come out of its saddle there does get hung up on stuff. So if you don't want that to happen, don't stuff a whole bunch of stuff underneath there. You've got more storage over on this side. So you've got plenty of room for a trash can. You've got a nice countertop here with a dual basin stainless steel sink there. This is also a cutting board if you want to do it that way. Your faucet here is hot all the way towards the wall, cold all the way towards yourself, and then to draw water, you're going to pull the handle outward, okay? Up here at the top, you do have a little silicone button that you can go from faucet to sprayer. When the water is on, it will go from either a faucet or a sprayer like your shower head, okay? Next is your refrigerator. It is a hair refrigerator, so to open it up, it does open towards the master bedroom. Your freezer, the temperature control dial is there in the back. It is a slider. All the way to the left is minimum cold. All the way to the right is maximum cold. Your refrigerator has a nice large crisper down there, some door storage, and the temperature control dial is all the way up here at the top. 7 being the coldest, 0 being off, okay? We're going to come over here. You've got pantry and or closet coat rack storage space, whatever you want that to be. It does have hooks installed at the top. Hooks over here on the side for keys and whatnot. Some storage down here. Your fuse panel and breaker box is right here. You're going to open it up by pushing it in. It's going to slide open. You'll notice that all of your breakers are on and all of your fuses are working. If for whatever reason any of your fuses blow, there is a little red LED that will illuminate next to that spot to show you exactly which one it is that is blown. When you close it, you'll be able to see that red LED light through this translucent panel here. You do have two more storage doors here. This one is kind of deep, so it's kind of elusive, so it's a lot deeper than what it is, so you can store bigger things than that if you want. This plate right here actually is where the majority of your heat for your furnace is going to come out at. It's kind of like an exhaust vent, so it's not going to be hot, but it's going to let the heat off of the furnace, if that makes sense. It's a little weird to go over. Your air conditioner is back here in the back side of the unit. Now, one thing about your air conditioner that I do want to go over is the cleaner that the filter is underneath this grate, the colder it will blow, okay? The cleaner that is, the better it will work. You always want to make sure that that's clean. You can take that down, wash it in the sink, take it outside, shake it off, let it dry, put it back up there. Another thing is your dump vents. So this has two dump vents. Two little tabs here to open and close your dump vent. If you want more air through the vents in the ceiling, you're going to leave this closed. If you want more air to come out of this, you're going to open these up. So a lot of people will say, it's real hot outside, I want to sit down on my chair, I want to enjoy AC, so they'll open these up. And then when they get ready to go to bed, they'll close this up and it'll push all that air out of those white ceiling vents, okay? Go ahead and turn that back off. Now that we're done out here, we're going to move up into the bathroom and the master bedroom. So if we come up here on the stairs, you'll notice that your smoke detector is up there above the stairs. Again, test that every 90 days. It is a 9-volt battery. You're going to want to test that and make sure it works. Behind this little glass door here is your control panel. This here is a remote control that allows you to control the lights, the awning, and stuff like that. It will not control the auto leveling jacks. It'll just let you control the lights. You can activate that by pushing that. And then the code is... And then it'll let you into the lights, the levelers, the bedroom slides. It'll actually let you control all the slides. The leveler, it does not control, okay? So I know it says an option for there, but the remote does not control the leveler. So now that we're over here, you've got your 6 buttons up here at the top. So you've got your battery button, which is going to show you what the accurate battery level is if it is not plugged in. When it is plugged in, you will always read as a full battery. You've got your fresh tank, which is going to read off of your fresh tank, your black tank 1 and your black tank 2. So the unit is not equipped with a black tank 2, so it is going to be empty. You've got your gray tank, which is going to be your bathroom sink and your bathroom shower. And then your galley tank, which is your sink, okay? Your kitchen sink. Your ceiling lights will turn on the LEDs that run the length of the interior of the ceiling. Those also have a manual slide on the top. So if you ever come into your unit and one of them isn't working, always make sure that that slide is in the on position. That is the only way it's going to work off of this switch. You've got your pendant lights, which are the 2 sconces above the kitchen island. You've got your floodlight, which is the lights that outside above the door. And you've got your porch lights, which are more lights outside above the door, okay? You've got your water pump here, so if we flip this on, if there was water in the fresh tank, this illuminates, and it's going to start siphoning water from the fresh tank to pressurize the lines in your unit. Next is your electric water heater. This is a heating element at the bottom of your tank that heats up, so it's not going to heat up as fast. You're not going to get as hot water, but it will preserve your propane for you. Your LP water heater, it's going to light your water heater on gas. You're going to hear a couple clicks outside, then you'll hear the pilot light attempt to light. If it doesn't, the DSI fault light will come back on, and after about 30 seconds, it will attempt to reignite itself. It will repeat that process 4 to 5 times. After the 5th time, if it is not working, you need to go and make sure that your propane bottles are open, and you can hit that reset button where I showed you on the outside of the water heater compartment. Next is your awning. So this is going to retract and extend out your awning. You've got your slide in and out for the kitchen / armchairs. And then this slide here is going to be for your entertainment and kitchen. So always remember, this is the front side of your, this is the back side of your unit, this is the front side of your unit, this is for the left slide, this is for the right side, okay? And then you've got your other one for the master bedroom. We're going to close that back up. Down below that is your Dometic thermostat. It has 3 functions, so if we turn it on, you've got your fan control. The plus and minus will allow you to adjust it from high, low, and auto. I always recommend auto because if you leave the fan in high, when you turn the furnace on, the fan in the ceiling will kick on as well.
Copy.
Next, you've got your air conditioner. This is going to allow you to increase the temperature of the air conditioner and decrease the temperature of the air conditioner.
He's doing a video with Trey. All right.
Next is your furnace. As you can hear, I've got the furnace on and the fan is kicked on because now the fan goes off and the furnace will kick on. That is because I have the fan in auto. Anything else, any other setting that the fan is on will kick on with the furnace on. We don't want that. So now that we're done there, we're going to walk our way into the bathroom. Rather large, nice bathroom. So we're going to start by flipping this light switch on, which is going to turn on the LEDs above the shower and bathroom floor, as well as the two above the vanity. You have a ceiling vent fan, which you'll crank by cranking clockwise, which will open that up. Now you do have a max air cover, so you can turn this on in the rain and not get wet. Counterclockwise lowers the vent. Your Dometic 2-portion valve toilet, so if we put our foot halfway down on the pedal, if there was water flowing through it, water would fill the bowl without opening the bowl. If I floor it, the toilet's going to flush, all that water's going to go into the black tank. Nice big fiberglass or plastic, one of the two, showers, so it's easy to clean. You can just use your standard shower cleaner for it. You've got hot on the left and cold on the right. The water's going to go down up the tube into the shower head. If you're boondocking it and you don't want to turn your hot water off, you can flip the water source off here, which will stop the flow of water, so that way you can get out and the next person can get in, so that way you're not having to waste hot water. You do have a portion so you can sit, rest your legs. You've got a little washcloth rack there. Your shower door does have a travel lock, so you're going to flip that up and you slide your glass doors all the way over. Now, because you do have a tri-fold door, you do want to make sure when you're in travel that lock is secure, okay? Because these do rattle around in travel and they do have a tendency to break if they're not locked down. Another recommendation that I always tell people is get you a couple small pieces of foam and line these tracks here if you're going to be traveling far distances, okay? If you're not going to be able to check on it by the time you get there, line this with some foam, and that'll help also keep these from rattling around as well as that travel lock will. Your vanity mirror, if we open it up, you got a nice deep medicine cabinet. Two small storage shelves over here, as well as a towel rack. Counter space, hot on the left, cold on the right. Sink stopper. Storage space underneath with your toilet paper holder there. Master GFCI outlet right here, so if for whatever reason any of your GFCI outlets on the inside of the unit aren't working, you can come here, hit the test button and reset button, and that'll pop that breaker again, and you'll be able to use your GFCIs again. They always put GFCIs around water sources and outside because they trip, and they don't trip the breaker, they just trip the circuit, okay? So next we're going to come in here to the master bedroom, flip the light on that's right here next to the bathroom slider door. I am going to show you the pocket door here, so this is your sliding door for your bathroom. It does have a track at the top. It doesn't have a stopper at the bottom except for down there by the wall. You do want to make sure that your door doesn't go out of that, because if it does go out of that, when it starts swinging outward in travel, it will do damage to the track and the carts that runs on, okay? So when you're in travel, you do want to make sure that the door's all the way open and that your travel lock is secure over that, okay? You do have floor vents for heat and ceiling vents for air conditioner throughout the entire unit. Always remember that. Cold air is going to come out of the top, heat's going to come out of the bottom, okay? To exit out of the bedroom, except for going out of the bathroom, you do have a door that will lead out to the hallway in the middle. It does have your standard lock on there as well as a magnet stop, so that way it will catch on this if you want to keep it open. Behind the door, you do have a 110 outlet there on this side of the bed slide. There's one on that side as well. This side of the bed does have two pull-out drawers, as well as two more of the LED lights above the bed, so that way they have on and off. The windows on either side of the slide do not open. You do have storage underneath the bed. If we lift up on the bed frame, you can put stuff underneath there, but that's also when travel, you don't want to have anything underneath there, but you can put stuff underneath there, like blankets and stuff if you're at the campsite, okay? You don't want to put anything underneath there for travel, but it is a good hide spot for when you're at your campsite and you want to store your blankets and whatnot. Your dresser has two pull-out drawers here at the top. Two big heavy drawers at the bottom. Up here above your dresser, you do have a 110 outlet as well as a coaxial and also your antenna booster. So this is for satellite and cable. This is for antenna. So to get antenna, you do want to make sure that LED light is on and that you're plugged into this coaxial. For satellite and cable, This has to be off, and then you can plug into one of these, okay? You also have a 12-volt power charger here too, so if the television that you decide to put in here is powered by 12-volt, you don't have to worry about that. Your emergency escape window is here, just like the one above the armchairs. Lift the saddle up and out, push outward, and then if you need to get out, you'll pull this to remove the screen as well. Up above here, more storage space. And here, your unit is washer and dryer prepped, but in order to store a washer and dryer in here, this does need to come out. This shelf does need to be removed. You've got your hot and your cold water spigots out there, as well as the sewer drain there for the water through that. And then you have a 110 outlet down there for the washing machine. It's built for a combo, not a washer and a dryer. Over here is your closet. We open up the travel lock here, slide the glass door all the way over. You'll notice that you do have rather nice large closet space here. Hanging rack here for your clothes, up here for your shirts, your shoes, all that good stuff. We'll slide the door back open, or back closed. I'll lock it back into place. I'm gonna step over here. We're gonna open up this one. And as you can see, you have a charging center in there that has a 12-volt port, 2 USB ports, a 110 port, and more storage cubbies underneath there as well, okay? We're going to go ahead and close that back up. You do have a ceiling vent up here as well. There is no fan attached to it, but it does open the same way that the one in the bathroom does. And it is max air covered, so you can open this up in the rain if you want to. Last but not least is your antenna signal there. So that is the hand crank for your TV antenna, okay? So there is one on the top of this unit. And in order to operate it, you're gonna push up on this. This is gonna turn and you're gonna be able to rotate your antenna. This is raise and lowers it. And then this here, you'll pull down and you can rotate this and this will spin it. So if you're getting poor signal, you can pull this down, rotate this, and this will help you angle your antenna so that way you can get better reception. If you have any other questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me here at Parkland RV. My name is Trey. Happy camping and good luck. Thank you.